University makes it possible.
Be unstoppable with an online master's degree from Franklin University. Franklin's in-demand master's.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. Right now I'm out of an editor, so I'm just going to be doing raw footage and just talking about spawns and how to read spawns in Call of Duty if you're a ranked player, if you're a competitive player, anything of that sort. So I hope this helps the best as possible. I don't even know what map I'm going to do. Kind of just started this video up. I've done Den in the past, so let's switch it up. Maybe let's do I don't know, let's do a Scar. And throughout this video, maybe I'll show you guys some different setups, different kinds of ways to look at hills, but mainly we're going to be focusing on spawns in Call of Duty. So if you don't know spawns and you're trying to become a competitive player, or if you're playing even a ranked and just want to get better for yourself, this is by far the most important thing you guys need to learn. If you guys do not know the spawns on a map or spawns on a hill, you're not going to really know your best play. You can think you know the best play, but it probably isn't, just based off of you not knowing the spawns. So first things first, very basic. If you guys don't know this, a lot of people still don't know this, which is kind of crazy to me. But if you are a beginner and you guys haven't played Call of Duty for that long, maybe it's something you don't know. But very basic thing, spawns change per hill. So if it's on a P1, there's going to be certain spawns. If there's a P2, there's going to be certain spawns. P3, certain spawns. P4, and whatever. So the spawns aren't the same on every single hill. I know this is very basic. A lot of you guys are probably like, all right, I already know this, whatever. But some people still don't. So I just thought I'd make that known. And one way to learn this as well, obviously I'm making the video here, so it's going to be a little bit easier for you to look at. But one way to learn this as well is just watch CDL matches or watch your scrims back and just pay attention to the spawns and figure out why they're happening. Obviously, I'm going to explain some of the spawns and why they're happening. And yeah, so let's get into it. So on P1s, and some of the spawns I'm going to have maybe a little bit off. They're not going to be exact pinpoint, but I kind of just try to explain it as best I can in terms of just basic spawns that you should probably be paying attention to mostly. Yeah, so P1, there's going to be a spawn here. There's going to be a spawn here. There would be a spawn here and here. I believe there's a spawn here as well. So things to note here are the side spawns. So we're going to be looking more at these spawns. These are kind of like the spawns that kind of tell you a little bit more information. And these are going to be like more little like just defaulty spawns. These are kind of where you're predicting yourself to spawn, and if you don't spawn there, probably is telling you something on the map. And just to start off, and if this gets confusing, you guys can always go back and rewind it. But just to start off, let's make it as simple as possible. So if you get this spawn on a P1, and you're going to notice this as time goes on, if you get a spawn that's not a quote-unquote default spawn, this spawn will give you information on usually 3 players, but 2 people minimum. So basically, you're getting this spawn means that someone has to be blocking these spawns, or you'd be taking the spawn. Someone's going to be on time, and someone's most likely going to be blocking this spawn, causing you to spawn here. It could be a case where the guy on hill is blocking the spawn from time, and it's just something like this, where he just pushed up on your side time, spawning you here. But majority of the time, it's going to be someone flanking the left, or someone's pushed up white wall, and it's going to be something kind of like this. So yeah, if you spawn over here, someone's going to be around here, 1,000,000%. So your first instinct thinking, oh, you spawn here, someone's going to be white wall or flanking from both sides or doing something like this, and you need to go look for that guy. Because on Scar P1s, P2s, you are going to be preferring the blue side. You're going to be preferring this side of the map. And if you guys aren't doing that by now, you guys definitely should be kind of focusing on flipping the spawns to get the blue side, to play from this side when you can. It's just a little bit easier in daytime. It's easier to break the hill. It's easier to hold the setup and everything like that. And on the other side, if you get this red spawn, this is a very clear indication that someone is going to be mid-cut, or it's going to be something kind of similar to this, where this guy mid-cut is influencing the spawn, and you're going to spawn over here. There could be Also, again, information on 3 guys, because someone's going to be influencing the spawns, which is this guy for this push up. Someone's on time, and someone has to be blocking these spawns back here. Someone has to be blocking these spawns, or else you would have just flipped, because as soon as it goes like this, if it's like this and any kills happen, you're just going to spawn behind them. You're going to get one of these spawns. So just keep that in note when you get these spawn outs that aren't the default spawns. Information is key on that, and understanding why you're spawning there is very, very good for you to know. And then so yeah, that's P1 for you. It's pretty simple. It's simple, but it's not. But just pay attention as time goes on in this video, and you're gonna understand a little bit more if you don't understand spawns. So going into the P2, this is a lot probably more simple than the P1 in my opinion. So you're gonna have default spawn, and then the non-default spawns. And it's not much crazier. Like blue, you just spawn a little bit further back, and then when you're on the red side, you're just spawning a little bit further back. So yeah, these are the default spawns. Boom, boom. And if you don't spawn there, you get one of these spawns here. That is indicating information instantly. So if you're not picking up on that information, this video is gonna be very, very good for you. So in order for you to get this spawn, the other spawns need to be blocked. So it's going to give you information again on 3 people, so just keep that in mind. So it's going to be something like this, where someone's front blue, they're on time, but they're also blocking these spawns back here, right? So it's probably going to be something similar to this setup. Someone has to be back here, and someone has to be pushed up on you, causing you to spawn deeper. Because if this guy wasn't here, and he was here, you're just going to get the default spawn probably. You're just going to spawn close. But as soon as you spawn further back, someone has to be in this area. Someone literally has to be pushed up in anywhere like in this area. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, again, if this guy that was blocking moves up like this and they get kills, you're just going to spawn behind them. So yeah, again, information on 3 guys. The 4th guy can kind of be anywhere, but time, pushed up, blocking. Time, pushed up, blocking. And it's going to be that over and over and over again. And I know there's a lot going on the screen. I would try to erase this, but it's kind of hard. But I know, just bear with me. And then
let's go now, 15, faster now. Faster.
The keynote on the other side, if you spawn back green instead of the back red steps, this is another indication that 1, they have to be pushed up on your side time, blocking this spawn. 2, they have to be blocking this blue spawn, or else you would spawn there. And 3, they are on time. 4th guy can kind of be anywhere. It's probably going to be around top cat, shop, usually somewhere like that. So again, you
hopefully that's a little bit better. But yeah, just because you're watching this, they'll spawn here.
instantly spawn here, you should know in your mind that someone is pushing up your side time. Someone has to be pushed up in this area, and someone has to be blocking the time. They're blocking the blue spawns. And if they're in time, then they obviously have to be in time. So at that point, you get very, very good information. Your first instant reaction should be, okay, I'm probably going to wrap back this way and play for the guy pushed up. Or you're going to come this way and just know that someone has to be, around this area. So boom, that's P2. Pretty fucking basic, to be honest. And it's going to be like that. You're going to see a common pattern for every single hill. That if you are getting a spawn out.
This is better for me because I always assume if I'm spawning here, they're spawning just somewhere over here. It's good to know exactly where they're coming from.
Quote unquote, not the default spawn, then you are getting a lot of information. But technically, you want people to spawn out because that's them spawning the deepest away from the hill. So if you had to manipulate the spawns, you want them to get these spawn outs. But just note that anyone that's good is going to know that you're pushed up just based off of their spawn. Going into P3, P3 is another, I mean, most hills are pretty simple if you break it down like this. So there's going to be a white wall spawn, boom, and then there's going to be like a back blue spawn. So these are the default spawns, boom and boom. And then if you get these spawns here, these spawns are indicating a lot of information. So again, default spawns are the triangles, and then spawn outs are the circles. So if you get this circle spawn out, start testing yourself as you go on as well. Start testing yourself if you know where people are going to be at based off this spawn as we go on, okay? So the first things first, someone has to be blocking, and usually it's going to be from like around white wall here. You can block these spawns from here. As long as your teammate's not fully blocking both these spawns, someone's going to be blocking the spawns, someone's going to be on time, and someone's going to be pushed past your side time. Somewhere in this area, influencing the spawn and blocking the spawn, spawning you here. The fourth guy could be, again, wherever. It could be P1, he could be here. Most likely he's not going to be P1 because that could also maybe influence the spawn, and depending on how far pushed up he is, and spawning you back here either way. But most likely he's going to be like this. Someone pushed up, someone on plane, someone time, someone in the back, or even like maybe two people around the middle. So yeah, again, this fourth guy doesn't really matter. This is what you're really looking for here. If you were testing yourself, someone's blocking, someone's pushed up, someone's on time. And of course, if someone wasn't blocking and this guy's pushed up, say this guy ran up mid, any kills you get right here in this setup will spawn behind you. You need someone to sit back. So you just got to be careful like that about that. And that's the main thing to note. If you guys are the last guy in line off spawn, or if you're the last guy in a setup and you don't sit back here, you're trolling, especially if you notice this guy's pushing up. If you notice this guy's push up and you run up mid and you get any kills, well, you better be ready to turn around because they will flip, especially if it's late in the hill. So yeah, super basic, super basic.
I think a lot of mistakes that I see people make is what he's talking about, where you got 1-2 people on time, maybe, right? Even like you said, the fourth guy doesn't matter. The fourth guy could be like here or like on this head glitch, right? If this dude's pushed all the way up, I've seen so many people that they'll spawn here and they'll run straight up here and try to hit a flank. This guy, if he, like, say some odd reason they don't hit mid cut right here, they cut back, right? Say this guy dies, this dude's gonna wrap up and flank. By the time he's already up here, like he's saying, this dude, he's gonna spawn here, you know, like, or he's gonna spawn here because the blue arrows, your teammate will be right here. So any flank kills that he gets right here is what I'm getting at, is all these players are going to spawn back here.
Same thing for the other side. If you spawn back blue in this area rather than the default spawn, which is like around here, it's indicating information every single time. Someone has to be pushed up your side time. Someone's going to be on the hill. Someone's going to be blocking green. The last guy could be wherever. So it's going to be something like this if you ever get the spawn. So it's going to be something similar to this. Again, because you wouldn't have gotten this spawn if this guy got out the spawn. If it was something like this and you died, you're going to flip behind them because this guy's pushed up and no one's blocking these spawns. These spawns are open. So someone has to be blocking green, someone has to be pushed up, and someone has to be on time. So pretty simple once you start breaking it down like that. And again, there's always first instinct with these spawn. First instinct, when I get this spawn here, I'm going to wrap this way and make sure I kill this guy. When I get this spawn here, right here, I know someone's going to be pushed up in this area. So depending on the hill time, if it's late in the hill, I'll probably just leave it and go around and go play for spawns, or even come through middle if my teammates are here. The only way I would really wrap this way is if I really need hill time, but I'm going to come here and look this direction first and clear these angles right here in this area, rather than come here and just instantly try to go top lane, because you're probably just going to die. All right, so that's P3. Let's move on over to P4. And some of these, I might be missing a spawn, but this is the most basic way to look at it, and this is how you guys should be looking at it if you guys are trying to learn spawns and, you know, trying to just get better overall. So P4, there's a spawn in the back. Everyone knows about this spawn. There's a spawn P2, boom. And then there's a spawn over here mid-cut. And all these are kind of main spawns, so I wouldn't worry about the spawn outs as much. But I will say, this is the most default back here. If you do get this spawn over here, my first instinct is to come here and expect people to be to my left. Or vice versa. If I come P1 and I'm running down mid, my first instinct is someone's probably going to be over here. It's probably going to be an area where they play here. They're playing top blue. It could be getting influenced. And then vice versa. If you spawn P2, they're probably going to be around P1 or like just somewhere around middle. So like just that's your first instinct. It should be just based off of these spawns. And if you spawn in the back, that's good. That's obviously what you want. So that's what you're going for. And the main goal, by the way, in Call of Duty is to spawn them in the same spot. Yes, this preferred spot. Say your preferred spot's to spawn on P2, but you don't have the timing to go block P1. Say, I don't know, say it's something like this, and you get a full wipe. Say you get a full wipe in this scenario. Don't force run out to P1 and try to spawn on P2. You're already over here. Just block the P2 spawn, play like right here, hold the cross, and guarantee all the spawn here. And as time goes on, like, realistically,
Get Drive My Way and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. American Family Insurance.
Pepperoni Crazy Puffs and Mountain Dew Mango Rush. Together for just $4.99. Everyone wants in on this deal.
As time goes on, you're going to understand which spawns you want them to spawn in, right? So, like, when I look at P4, and I'm thinking of P4, and I'm looking at these spawns, which spawn would I want to give them, right? So, this spawn, you have, you know, one route. It was just straight. This spawn over here, you can come middle, you can go around the left, you can go through shop. So you have a little bit more direction. I mean, yeah, you can come this way, but it's still the same thing, pretty much. So in my eyes, just looking at this, I would want them to spawn P2 personally, just because you have less routes, you have less things to watch. So I would personally get in a setup to where I'm trying to block P1 and spawn them all here. Obviously, you can spawn P2 and wrap this way. And good teams probably will send someone to wrap back, just because if you keep running forward, you're probably going to get put in a crossfire, but get put in a blender. So just keep that in mind. If you are this guy in P1, there's a chance someone will wrap you. But you're doing God's work, you know, just blocking a spawn, spawning them all in one spot, and that's really what your main goal is. Just be aware that there is a chance someone can wrap this, so maybe hold this cross and play your kills, and then if you don't see all four of them, there's probably someone wrapping for you. And that's just the best way to explain it. There is another spawn like back blue, but this is a very rare case scenario, so I wouldn't worry about this as much. But if you ever get this, that does mean all these spawns are being blocked, which is a very, very rare case scenario. It's going to be something, boom, there's a guy mid, there's a guy P2, and then there's a guy like right here staring at this spawn, which causes you to spawn back blue. And like I said, like I wouldn't worry about that too much. But if you ever do get this spawn, your first instinct should be to protect the back and come this way and play for a kill around this area. So hopefully that makes sense. And dude, this is by far the most basic way to look at hills in Call of Duty. And if you don't notice these spawns, especially on other maps, because obviously we're only doing one map right now, go watch the CDL, go watch your VODs back and scrims, and just go pay attention to where the spawns are, and then try to understand why they're spawning there. Obviously in Call of Duty, sometimes there can be fluky spawns, but for the most part, if you're hard blocking spawns, and you're sitting on top of a spawn, they're not going to really spawn on you, unless everything is being blocked, which in this game, it's a very fast-paced game. People are dying all the time. It's most likely they're just not going to spawn on you. Sometimes they will. You just got to be aware of what spawn is being blocked. If every spawn is being blocked, there's a chance they spawn on you. But yeah, let's go on to P4 or P5. Sorry. So P5 is a pretty basic hill as well. There's gonna be a spawn. There's gonna be a spawn like from blue. There's gonna be a spawn plane. And again, like this is probably a little bit pushed up. It's probably a little bit further back here. I'll just redo it just for you guys. Probably gonna be like right here. And then there's gonna be a spawn back green, and then there's a spawn more like back here to the right a little bit. And again, these are probably more the default spawns, I would tell you guys. And then if you guys get these spawn outs, it's going to indicate that they are getting pushed up on you and they're also blocking, or else you would flip. So if you get this spawn front blue, depending on how much hills left, my first thought is usually that someone's going to be playing or be pushed out front side of time anywhere, kind of blocking this spawning you here. So what I like to do is, my first instinct is to wrap this and go play for him, because if you guys funnel through mid cut and you guys come in in this direction and they have a setup kind of like this, where they're on time, they're top green, someone's probably going to be top green looking at middle, but either way, say this guy's not even here, say he's just in the back, it's still going to be a very hard break, because as soon as this guy playing doesn't see anything, he's just going to turn around and watch mid cut, and now you're getting crossfired everywhere. So if you come mid cut,